Didn't go so.
All right, we're here. Thank you very much. Sorry for the delay. Welcome to week 21 of Zealots of Zul. I'm Cliff Dunn, your creator. We're going to do a quick synopsis before we bring on. I want to welcome everybody that's watching us to A10. I hope I'm getting your name right, or is it A10? The sun disk. Either way, we're glad you're shining down on us. And to who else do we have, Scott? We've got
Rubber Slayer.
Rubber Slayer. That by itself. Thank you, Aces. We'll jump right on that in a second.
And another TV viewer.
Another TV viewer. Thank you, TV viewers. We're going to get started in just a second. I want to just remind you of a couple of quick things. Some very exciting things that are happening. First of all, this is week 21. Our episode tonight is called Vadashar is for Lovers, as the Zealots of Zul make their way back to the city-state after a very long, very successful, trip out into the wasteland. So that was a lot of fun, and we're gonna, kind of get we're gonna ramp things up a little bit as we bring actually our wait. Let me just come on. One person at a time. They're very excited. I appreciate that energy. We are about to wrap up our first season. What does that mean? That means we've had 21 episodes. I don't know exactly when we're going to wrap it up, but we're very, very close to wrapping up our very first season. So that's going to be cool. We're going to do some interesting stuff, some retrospectives, and then we'll start our second season coming up, within the next, 2 months, let's say. So we're going to get started. We're going to introduce our zealots. We thank you for tuning in. Remember, you can participate actively by stoking the flames of experience. By every bit that you participate with will go as an experience point for them, into a pool for them to divide up by the end of the night. I was thinking about doing it like a minimum, but I don't want to do that at the beginning. Like at the beginning, I want to say like 1,000 minimum, which would be a $10 investment, which I don't think is asking a lot. But I don't want to go there yet because I want, we're nice. We're feeling the burn right now. So join me for a short break for our sponsor, and then we'll come back, introduce the Zealots, and bring us up for episode 21 of Zealots of Zul. Vadashar is for Lovers.
I gotta roll that.
Roll commercial. Thank you, John Cameron Swayze. Well, that's right. Thank you, Cliff. The garden hoe is perfect for everybody's garden.
No, it's actually wrong.
That's good, because the garden hoe is already very busy. She doesn't need any more.
That's right.
Right now.
Right, she's got a full schedule.
Yeah.
Right. I remember when that ran in real time, the first time.
I didn't know we were having seasons.
Yeah. It'd be cool, make it kind of fun and interesting. And it's just sort of interesting that we're coming to a good spot to wrap things up.
The DM refresh.
We've got the heist, right? And then I want to do some things like maybe do a retrospective of the season, everything that you did.
10.
Okay, we got to sign back in 10 seconds.
What screen you want to be on this one again?
Please. But we can bring everybody. I just like to do the thing. It's a cool shirt. Genesis, Catholic whiskey. Well, welcome to Zealots of Zul. I'm Cliff Dunn, your Dungeon Master, co-creator of ZealZaddy. All our players are here, all the Zealots are here. We're back from a very, very fun adventure. I hope those of you that have watched, enjoyed. And listen, if you're tuning in the middle of this, we are going to do a season wrap. As I mentioned, this is episode 21. Vadashar is for Lovers. But we're going to do a wrap, and part of the reason that we are organizing this into seasons is because that's the way things are these days. But also, it gives us a chance to encapsulate things that have happened before. The characters have really come very far. I mean, in some ways, it feels like we've only just started this campaign, and yet we're 5 months into it. Really more than that, because we've had some breaks in real time for real life things, the holidays. So just a couple of reminders. You can follow us on Patreon if you would like to participate in this, because we have all of these notes and these wonderful things that we write down, the festivals of Zul, the calendar. I was talking off camera during our break from our thank you sponsors about what month it is. We are in the real world. We are just entering March. But in the Zealots calendar, the Zulian calendar of the world of Zul, it's just the first month of Ravana, which would equate to roughly November. So they're a few months behind us, as they spent most of Patrimpo, which is the month of their equivalent of October, in the wasteland trying to get Kepri's sister back. So we'll do a recap on that in just a second. You can participate. We're going to offer everything in book form, all of our notes, everything. If you're a Patreon subscriber for as low as, what is it, $2 a month? For $2 a month, you can participate. Go to patreon.com, ZealZaddy, ZealZaddy, ZealZaddy. And for $2 you can get all the notes. And if you have questions, you can email either Scott or me at scott@zealzaddy.com or cliff@zealzaddy.com. If you have any questions about the game, what's going on, we do assume a lot of the times that you know what's going on, and that's it's not arrogance on our part. It's just we just figured that you might have an idea. But again, we appreciate your participation. Let's bring on all our zealots, and then we'll do a quick recap of where we've been, and we'll start the campaign for tonight. Let's start over here with Attalus.
I'm Mike. I play Attalus Graphic, the uncrowned Prince of Thieves of Vadashar.
I'm Scott Coventry.
And there's a reason he's uncrowned, by the way. Uncrowned. And I'm sorry.
Most of his thieves are never crowned.
Right, exactly. His crown was
We never
stolen.
get that. It's kind of not fair.
Yeah, because everybody's always stealing it from each other.
That's true.
Yeah.
There is
I
no.
get it,
Can't keep it very long.
Yeah.
I'm the king of thieves. Yoink.
Capture
a
the
wrestling
flag,
match.
capture the crown.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm Scott Coventry. I play Arslan Abdurrahmi. I'm also a rogue of Vadashar, although a different kind of a rogue, more of a businessman.
A legitimate
Legitimate,
Yes.
legitimate businessman.
I don't know nothing about that.
What's with many friends?
I have to have a fence.
And of course, Capture the Crown is a much less painless game than Hide the Crown.
Oh
Ooh.
Lady,
Yeah.
would you care to? No, better not.
Hi, I'm Anna. I play Sabine, your neighborhood bard / spy, and I am very happy to be out of the desert.
Hi, I'm Kyle. I play Ibn al-Capri, or Capri to his friends, the Kimish ranger who is very happy to have reunited with his sister safely and sad that he is leaving the desert. It was a nice time.
You did shine. You did. You did good. I mean,
I said that I'd bring back everyone alive, and last I checked, everyone lives.
And it's interesting too because I just, as a quick, as a sidebar, part of my hipster sensibility is I'm not so excited by classes and things like that. Obviously, we have there's mechanics in 5e just as there was in D&D, and we have a means of getting there, but a lot of people aren't aware that you're a ranger, and this was you doing your rangerist best in a very cool wilderness.
I am but a humble guide of caravans
Right.
and the like.
Nice, thank you, and it was and well done. It's a nice. Kepri's a nice example of and everybody does a great job. I love all of my characters equally.
I love all my children equally. I just love some more than
Everybody
others.
has a favorite.
Good example of a city rogue.
Right, exactly.
And last but not least, hi, I'm Alex. I play Anupam Dewar, the Gudwaran monk who is in Vadashar for a good time, not a long time. But he is.
Oh, you're here for a long time.
I mean,
Not
yeah.
a good time.
Like,
And not a good time
You don't
either.
know how to have a good time.
Yeah, to be fair, he's not here for either a good time or it's bad.
It's complicated.
It's to say the least. But yeah, he's basically just trying to find a way to retake his homeland, whether that be by force, by diplomacy, or what have you. Very doubtful it's going to happen by the latter, but still.
You just need to wait till the trade sanctions kick in. Wait, give them time. They're working.
Yeah, no, I don't think I'm going to wait that long.
Look, it's just a couple 200 years until the original Rakshasas die out.
Yeah, so maybe my great grandchildren will finally be able to go back to
That's
home.
how these things work, though.
Mr. DM.
Very nicely done. Again, just for those of you that would like to participate, you can help out with the experience tonight by participating. Each bit goes into a pool experience that they will divide up. You can reach out to us on ZealZaddy, and we'll have more information on how you can participate, or at Patreon rather, with our ongoing projects. Okay, we're going to start. Thank you very much again. We're going to start things off this evening with a time that happened prior to now. A flashback to a large exotic place, a courtyard that is filled with flowers and exotic statuary. And we see a familiar face, someone who we would recognize here, but she's much younger than she is now. We see a 14-year-old Sabine. 14, and she's dancing in a courtyard in the place where she lives.
Do we know she wasn't 14 already?
I said it was a flashback.
You know nothing of her. No.
And she's wearing a beautiful and extremely fashionable cape. And you can hear some music playing from over the wall from some musicians. And your reverie is interrupted when you're shoved very unceremoniously, and when you regain your make an acrobatics roll. Make sure that you pull
12.
Okay, so you stumble, and you probably stub your toe over a little bench that's sticking up, and you see that it's Latila, the daughter of Cunuardo, who is the master of your household where you live. And why are you wearing my cape?
Tila, darling, hi. I'm so sorry. I
told you could borrow it to look at yourself, to admire yourself. I didn't say you could do whatever it is that you're doing now.
I was merely making sure it hung right so that I could fold it up and put it back in your wardrobe. Here you go. It's in perfect condition.
She takes it. Make a perception roll.
12.
She looks unimpressed, but she notices what you don't notice, and you see her disposition changes, and she suddenly demurs to a much more humble disposition, and she walks off, and you see that stepping into the courtyard is her father, the judge, Cunuardo, sorry.
I curtsy deeply.
And he smiles at you and walks by. Later that evening, there's a knock on your door.
Yes?
Sabine, did I wake you? And
No.
you recognize the voice of the judge.
No. My lord, what is it?
I have something for you.
Oh. Okay, thank you, my lord.
And he has a bundle in his hand and he hands it to you. And it looks like a package that's been wrapped up at the sort of shop that your mother would go to buy things for his wife. And
I open it.
and it looks like the same cape that Latila was wearing, but it's shot through with gilt and silver thread.
This is beautiful. This is for me?
I thought you would enjoy having your own little songbird, and I thought especially that it might go nicely with your complexion and your hair.
Thank you. I don't know what to say.
I'm sorry for my daughter's behavior. It really is quite unacceptable. She should know better. I would suggest to you that she will outgrow this, but it can't be pleasant for you now. A lot of this can't be pleasant for you, is it, little songbird?
I'm eternally grateful to my lord for everything you've done for my mother and I.
I know.
We are very happy living in your home.
Yes, of course. You're very good at the forms, little songbird, but I want you to be happy, at least in such opportunities where the occasion arises that you can embrace, despite what your mother has said about it, you can embrace joy on occasion.
I'm filled with joy now, my lord.
May I tell you a little story?
Of course. Please come in, my lord.
I will not take too much of your time. I just wanted to tell you that when I was a boy, I would get up very early in the morning, step out into the courtyard. There was a bird, you see, a songbird, that lighted upon one of the center pear trees. And he would sing every morning, an hour before the sunrise. And it would seem that he sang every day just for me. My brothers thought it was funny and odd that I would get up. But it reminded me that there was more in the world than meets the eye, and that sometimes beauty can be found no matter where you're looking for it. I have found that since you and your mother came into our house, little songbird.
Thank you, my lord.
Thank you.
Okay.
We cut back to the present time when the Zealots, through their...
We've never seen joy on her face.
Yeah.
Right? Just to be clear. Just right.
Yeah.
That may have been the last moment of joy in her life.
Like you said, you were
She was
gonna
14.
I'll take it. What's your hand?
And just a question for the DM.
Madam.
Did he call her Sabine, or
He
did you override her?
I called her by the name she was known in those days.
Okay.
But did I refer to you as Sabine?
I think so, but
Well,
I'm not saying that could be it.
I don't know
No,
that
songbird, yeah.
I thought that he referred to you as Little Songbird.
Okay, yeah.
So I thought that I had referred to you as Sabine. But either way, he
Oh, that's
referred
fine.
to you
I just want to know
as
if it was a
Little
bleep, like
Yeah,
like
I
a secret.
Sure. What's that? There's a like in Mr. Robot,
Don't worry
Mr.
about
Robot?
that.
Mr. Robot.
Oh,
yeah,
Mr. Robot.
the name of the company isn't really the Evil Corp. It's just
Right,
that when
right.
they say the name of the company,
Yeah.
you hear Evil,
Evil
Corp,
Corp,
which is
right,
kind of
yeah.
cool.
I
Right.
thought that was I always thought that was funny.
It's a
Evo
conceit
Corp
of
is
the,
like,
of the
Right.
show, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of like Prince Farquaad in Shrek.
I don't know.
Oh, wow.
I'm just kidding.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
joking. I'm joking. All right. So, why don't you tell me how you guys are? I don't want to shoehorn you in. To remind those tuning in and everybody that after rescuing Kepri's sister from the clutches of the cult of Irramal, which was insane worshippers of a giant sandworm, about 100 feet this way and 1,800 feet this way.
So they don't force us into their religion, though.
They didn't. No.
Well, we
They have
killed
a-
a lot of them.
They have
so.
a wicked circumcision ritual to get into that cult, though, which involves looking like the worm. It's not pretty.
Yeah, I mean,
We just wanted to ask about that before we left, to see if they could
Trying to
gather
summon
some.
luminescent.
Yes, well, if they could gather some.
So wait. I mean, so I'm gonna. We did collapse the travel back on the way back. You did have some journey back, but remember, a lot of it was facilitated by the exactly by the felicity and fraternal feeling that you had cultivated with the riders of Air Jabani. the Koronagi
Helps when you bring
Well-
back the head honcho's granddaughter.
So they would have at least gotten you to an oasis. They would have taken you back to their oasis. Then, of course, Sheikh Mukrin would have probably escorted you back to the outskirts of Fort Zayad, which everybody make an insight roll, and I'll take. And you can take care of any kind of business. Anything.
Well, I was just gonna say, before we parted their
Before-
company, we
right.
wanted to ask them.
To get some of the moss that was glowing,
Luminescent moss.
luminescent moss.
If it was
Maybe
possible, if we
grow
could
it
trade for it
in
in
our
the
own
future.
caves. Trade with it, and maybe some of the.
Well, you were gonna. Did you kill all the cult members of Eramal?
Not all of them, some of them ran away.
We don't.
Yeah,
We think some. We know some ran.
I mean, so you would have to go back into the.
yeah.
Do they know any other caves that might have that aren't filled with?
Yeah. Nice try.
Really,
Okay.
you walked straight
Okay.
for that torch.
Well, listen, I like it.
Lamp oil.
What about getting a couple of cactuses?
There's an enormous cave collapse.
Could we get a couple of the cactuses that we can use as defenders of our back
Close
entrances?
enough to the cactus.
Maybe small ones.
Whoa, the chair is going down. I would not take that as a good omen.
And then when
Sabina's
something else
leaving the
goes on,
desert
good.
now.
It's like,
You want to stay and gather
No,
things.
we want
around
them to
you.
gather the
what, you're the mother of dragons or something?
Because the water was
And
really
the water. Oh my god, the hallucinogenic water.
the water was really evil.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you're telling me.
You guys should be grateful. That,
Hey,
I
first
am.
of all,
we're
yeah.
happy. They're the one who's
I
thinking,
know.
oh, we can wait.
I'm grateful
I
to be
appreciate that.
alive.
I would just
Yeah,
say
to be
that
fair, that
all
was,
of your efforts are dissuaded by Erjabani.
And Sabine.
Well, no, the thought wasn't for us to go get them. The thought was maybe he can send someone to go get some of those things for us.
Well, if you guys want to get them at some point, you can.
See, this is
We don't want to come back out here.
This
But
is
the
your
people
luck.
of
But you do.
See this is your luck, and you see how I'm pushing it.
Okay, we'll move on from that thought.
Perhaps some of the time.
They also cast detect magic on all of these. I like it. I admire your
We kind of
thoroughness.
gate back here. No, okay.
We're gonna use typical movement in our place.
Perhaps we can try again at another time.
Mhm. All right. So, oh, it's good.
Wait, you're a ranger.
So I'll try to learn more
He's
about
gonna send you
Pepper's
guys
sister
out.
on the
We can
rise.
send you on a quest for some of these things when we need them.
Oh, yes, that's a great
Conversation,
idea.
learn about the young Kepri and
So, well, you can tell from looking at them that there's about a 10-year age difference. Is that about right?
Yeah, Kepri is about 30, 32. Ozira is 25, I believe.
Okay. So, so she's maybe a little younger than that, actually. So there's almost a 10-year age difference between them, and you, she's very polite. Well, I mean, obviously, she's grateful for your rescue, but Manetho and, well, certainly at least Manetho is caring for her to make sure that she's okay because she has been through an ordeal. So,
I have to reorder supplies and all that stuff that was brought.
Yeah.
That shipment didn't make it.
you get this. Make it. First of all, everybody made an intuition roll before.
No, we didn't.
Inside.
16.
21.
Okay.
20.
14.
13.
Okay, so everybody that rolled over 15 got the sense that, and that would make sense because Kepri, you're concerned with your sister.
Of course.
Atlas, you're concerned with Kepri's sister liking you, and the others made it. You get the
It
sense
steals more than good.
that Sheikh Mukrin and the Kuranaji are, in addition to making sure that you're escorted to Fort Zayad unmolested, are also there to probably scout out Fort Zayad for any weaknesses.
Did we get
I'm cool with that.
the caravan's goods back?
I don't think we did.
A few of them
Yes,
survived.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, so probably grab a few from a side chambers. Yeah, focus on it.
Yeah.
We have less than I would like, but we do have enough to at least ply some tongues and grease some palms.
And we need to run through it.
Did you say apply some tongues?
Ply some tongues.
Oh, apply some tongues.
That's
Whatever
more
it
falls
takes,
under
right?
that more falls under Sabine's job description.
I mean, I'll do it if I have to. But, I mean, if it's come down to that, this has gone horribly wrong.
Although Anupam still owes Sabine 3 favors,
Oh,
so
God damn it.
you may not have to get him to do
It might
it.
help you.
Oh boy. I was really hoping you would forget about those.
No, she has not forgotten. She will never forget about those.
Damn it. Okay. Shudder to think what you have planned for me.
So we get back to Fort Zao.
Yeah, and again, if there's anything that you need to do on the way, I don't mind you going straight to Vadashar. They will get you to Fort Zayat, and then the rest of you, and of course you will catch up with the rest of. There are the handful of guards that were left there, the Kemish guards, and there was
I want to
also
talk to that guy.
and there was also a couple of the Kurunave, the commander of the fort.
Yeah.
No, the
Jabani?
the one
Sheikh
that worked
McCree.
for it.
Sheikh McCree.
Sheikh McCree.
Sheikh McCree.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, when I get it, I mean, I assume there's opportunities on the long road. To,
Many opportunities for you to chat with him.
Yeah,
Hold on one
Do you-
second. We'll go over.
we are potentially going to try and create a trade route from Kemet into Vadashar, and we could value someone who could protect that route for us. And I know that there are people that you sometimes will assist as desert dwellers to make sure that these routes continue to function rather than fall victim to the likes of those.
You have already demonstrated that you have the favor of Jabani. I am certain that if you are able to provide some measure of tribute and assistance to the people of Jabani, not only will you of course pass unmolested through his lands, but such assistance that may be brought to bear, I am certain his honor will require it.
That I think would work very well, and I think that he would be happy to do that. But I would also like to make sure that the tribute goes two directions.
What do you
If
wish
you
for?
understand?
Hold on, let me just say how I'm going to respond to this.
My headmen deserve tribute too,
Of course,
as does yours, I'm sure.
I am happy, cousin, to provide you with whatever information and assistance as may be necessary in your own quest.
We'll have more communiques in the future. That's all I want.
Keep them,
Quietly though,
Yeah.
none of them heard that.
understood. He thumps you on the back, you pass the pipe, and you and the shaker, okay. And at some point before you depart, did you want to do anything? Well, I mean, we can go around. Did anybody want to do anything apropos of before you get back to Vadashar?
I was promised a bath.
You get an excellent bath, and you get a fantastic bath.
Actually, I was going to say the same thing, to be honest, but yeah.
Yes, absolutely, Anupam.
Oh, Sabine will intrude on Anupam's bath again.
Right?
The bath this time remains unmolested. I'm just just like a fly on a camel, on like the camel's back with my sister, just talking to her. So how's the folks? How's the thing? Oh, and all in Kemish, by the way. And I make sure to mention, watch for that one. He is, as I,
Yeah.
he is known for his romantic predilections. Not that you would. You are full-grown women. I would not stop you, but you could do better.
You can can do better than my friends. Oh.
You can do better than my friend. He is my greatest friend.
She smiles and she, at the, everybody making, make a insight check. No, perception check. Perception check. Everybody except Atlas.
23.
Okay.
Dirty 20. Filthy 20.
As filthy as they come.
14.
Okay. One night, the last night before you ship out, before you leave for Vadashar, the final stretch back, Sabine, you're playing your what instrument do you typically play of the night? You play the lute.
Yeah.
So Sabine's playing the lute, strumming
Lute and lyre, like the little hand harp. Yeah.
Strumming the lute with her fingers.
She probably would have actually.
Singing
The
the
lyre's
words with your
smaller, so probably would have brought
A lyre.
that. Yeah.
And you notice Atlas having a drink, and he's staring at in the common area of the tavern. Yeah, there's a painted on the wall. There's a fading picture of the satrap of the provincial governor of the Coronians, and a woman on the side to the right, his wife. You know, and you see Atlas having a drink, and he seems to be paying attention to the portraiture on the wall. He looks a little more maudlin than usual.
Mm-hmm. I'll walk over. I knew that you liked ladies, but I didn't think you liked them enough to admire two-dimensional ladies as well.
Brings back fond memories.
Did you know her?
Yes.
Oh, you knew her.
Yes.
Oh. Probably something you shouldn't say out loud around here, I think. Although I'm pretty sure you get that a lot, don't you?
Depends on the crowd you're with.
Fair enough. Well, I'll be happy to get back to Vadashar at least. This was a nice distraction.
Don't like the desert, I'll be very glad to get back to the city myself.
Definitely don't like the dry humidity, temperature, the dry heat.
I think we've all found too much sand in places it's not supposed to be.
Yes, indeed. Although, bathhouse does wonders, though, I do have to say.
And yes, the bath water is
That sounds good.
pitch black by the time you get out of it. The two of you, it's a good bath.
Yeah.
Well, you don't want to have too many of those because you get sick.
That's fair.
Yes. And Sabina's chatty the entire time you're trying to relax in the bath.
Yep.
Just like, so anyway.
It's like, to be fair, every single time she tries to talk, I'm literally just sitting there like, girding the loins.
Eventually, you depart from Fort Zayed, and without any further ado, you get back to Vadashar.
On to
On the way,
Vadashar.
we should talk about the moving of product from our next project out of the city. We're going to need to move it, and we probably should be setting up a network out here.
I think we already have a network out here.
But we need to get it from the city to them. And I don't really like the idea of it going through Fort Zayed.
Well, I believe.
We don't have the protected network there.
No, but wasn't that sort of what Ozira was going to come in handy for? On her way back to Kemet, she was going to bring ever so much.
She did wonders on the way.
My sister's embassy isn't even the found stone isn't even put in the ground, and we already start.
That's not the project I'm thinking of.
Which project are we talking about?
The big project.
The big project. Oh yes, that one.
The real reason he came out here with you.
Oh, I'm sure.
The real reason he came out here with you. Wow.
Oh, no, you can't disguise it. You all, let us not, you all, oh, never mind. Well,
He's mercantilely minded.
well, yes.
I was one of the first, maybe the first to
He was
volunteer to go
the
with
first. He was the first. I didn't even have to twist his arm.
you. So even being mercantile minded,
Of course.
which I can't deny that,
No one would accuse you of any less.
it does beg the question, we need to get it from point A to point B to point C. Point B being Fort Zayed, which half of what we have will disappear there, I bet. I'd rather avoid
Why
that.
are we wanting all of this to, what is the destination that you had in mind?
To convert it into money.
Well, we don't
What
know.
is
We
the
don't know
destination?
what is there.
What is the
That's
actual
true, we don't.
destination? Are you trying to get all of this back to Kemet? Are you trying to get it to Fort Zayed?
I'm going to try and find buyers for what we don't want to keep in there ourselves.
Yes.
Because it would be too much for us to keep. We would have the treasure house of the lictors on our own, and I don't think we can keep that a secret for very long.
I don't think we're going to come out of there with that much. Probably enough as you can carry, but you don't want to get greedy.
What are your aspirations?
I want to live. You can only carry so much.
Fort Zayed is a fine enough place. They only skim off a small amount.
That's why I plan on taking all the gems. I don't carry. I don't want the metal. I want the jewels.
I want to live.
I want to leave that empty treasure house of the lictors
I also wish to one day ride across
to liberate it, of course.
Oh, of course.
It's been stolen.
Well, this theoretical problem of ours can be. It is still a theoretical problem for goods that we don't have yet.
Yes, and have no real plan on how to get.
Well, that's what we need to be working on now.
Indeed.
It's on the plan.
We don't know anybody that's actually been inside it or seen anything inside it.
We got what's his name?
Was his man?
Yeah.
Now we actually have to go back to civilization.
Yeah,
Durhan had seen what was inside of it.
Yeah. Remember, he has the key to the central vault. To the central vault door.
Yeah, he's one of the 3 keys, I believe.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Correct.
We have a copy. We have a clay copy of the key, like a clay imprint.
We should have a key by now.
Yes. So we
Yes,
have a
that's
key.
the other thing is
You do,
to see how our busy little worker bees have gone on in our short, lovely absence on our lovely sojourn.
Yes. You had a lot of plates in the air that you were juggling when you left.
That's a very nice way of saying that.
Flaming torches of
Plates in
daggers.
the air.
Over
Well,
yonder.
Eleandro was going to be looking into various things,
We'll
including
find out when we get there.
the. By the way, did we do that one array with a picture of it? Yeah. So, including the tunnels beneath,
Right. Those were things we
the garden.
were still looking into.
Gaze over yonder, friends and companions. Vadashar, in the dim distance. I have kept my promise. Well, let us wait until we get to the city limits, then we will technically keep. I have kept you alive for most of the route.
I have never wanted to kiss the dirt of Vadashar so much in my life. Actually, I've never wanted to kiss the dirt of Vadashar.
I would recommend against that highly.
Yeah, I don't imagine it's very sanitary.
No, just because I want to doesn't mean I'm going to do something.
Oh, good.
Good,
I don't do things I want to do all the time.
of course.
For example, you're all still alive.
Our
I don't know.
apologies.
I don't know how to feel about that. I'll be honest.
My apologies.
She wants
I
you
did-
alive. She's not finished with you.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
My apologies. I did not do a worse job and leave us to die in the desert. I will remedy that next time.
No, you did a good job, Kepri. Oh, be glad.
Sorry, did she just compliment you?
The sky
Do you
is
do-
not falling.
Has the where's the sun? Has it finally dropped from the sky? The moon?
Just take the praise for what it is.
Oh, believe me, I will take this praise and treasure it like gold.
There's no frost on the ground, so hell hasn't frozen over.
Well,
Vadashar is hardly hell. We're leaving it now, in fact.
well, let us go see if our residences have been burgled and if someone has taken up residence in our slint shop.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Neither would I. It'll make it funny when he has to chase them out with a broom.
Arriving back in the city as you do, the plan is for Kepri. Ozira tells you we should make our way, and there's also the you also picked up, in addition to the guards that were with you, the other members of the embassy, the Kiemish members of the embassy. So, which included Jedefta, who was the first secretary to the legation, Uboser, Uboser, who was the fourth secretary to the legation, and Sethmet.
Who's evil? You can tell by his name.
Sethmet, who is very helpful and clearly
Helpful.
the delight of the gods.
Definitely not your traitor.
Not to be trusted.
Right.
Got it.
Not to be trusted, even if you come and go.
And Sethmet is sort of under the heel of Uboser.
Like an assistant of sorts?
Yeah, let's call him that.
Okay, fair enough.
And so they're all there to, of course, assist the embassy.
Of course.
And your sister.
Benito, I too like to go.
Yeah, and he's very protective of his sister. Benito will also sort of confide to you that the embassy is supported by the kingdom, but within the embassy there are a couple of different factions
Who seek to
use it for their own.
those that seek to use it for their own and those that cleave to the old ways.
Right. He's not particularly certain who is whose though, but he.
Yes, there is a reason.
But I'm sorry, what were you saying?
I was going to say, yes, there's a reason I did not wish to get involved in the, family struggles.
Ozira spends much of her time resting on the way back because she has every intention of being in charge of the legation as soon as you get to Vadashar and negotiate with the patricians. With your assistance,
Of course. Your brother is here to help.
And when you arrive into the city, the Anupam, make a perception roll.
Did his sister clean up well?
That's 18.
And you see, as you enter the city precincts, coming into the caravanserai, you recognize, looking up from you as you stare down from the camel, you see Abik looking up at you.
Oh.
And he smiles, and there's no real opportunity to stop because he's kind of a little bit back, but he does see you and you pass him by.
I don't remember who Abik was.
Abik was the countryman of Anupam that you had met at the Gilded Home.
Actually, Sabine never.
Oh, you didn't?
Oh, so yeah, I don't know who he
Sabine
is.
was
I don't
not
know.
there.
Was it
It was me and Escalus.
Oh, you and Alexis?
Alexis.
Oh, that was it.
Alexis.
Okay.
Sorry,
So no one
sorry.
else has met him.
Though we have heard of him, we know of him, because the whole point was, he did explain that in one of the spiels that Kepri gave was, go out into the desert and not worry about your problems. worry about a new set of problems. I believe, if memory serves me correct.
Yeah, because that was after it was.
I think I sent you his picture.
Right, yeah. No, I mean, yeah, but that wasn't a beak.
Oh, that wasn't?
No, a beak was somebody
Okay.
else. That was that's episode 1.
Oh, okay, no, my bad. I'm confusing with.
You made a
I'm
big
thinking that
episode.
we were thinking of the guy that gave you the.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Right, when you first went to the Gilded Palm, he was a scribe. And
Right.
Apologies.
No, you're fine.
We were thinking the guy that gave you the gifts.
Oh
to-
no.
to-
Yeah.
No, that is
Me.
Tahir Khan.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
Your buddy.
Oh yeah,
He's-
no.
He's your
It's not-
buddy.
yeah.
Are you kidding? You realize if I had seen him in the
He's
crowd,
talking with
I
the
would
beak.
not be holding my shit together this well.
He's talking with the beak and looking at you.
Oh wow.
So Kepri,
Yes.
Kepri, you and Ozira and the others of your countrymen secure the
The goods.
the samples of Kima's trade goods, including the dates, the silk, the gold. Probably the dates are done with. There was papyrus, there was linen and grain.
Bad dates.
What's that?
No, I was just saying
Bad
bad
dates.
dates.
Yeah, lot of bandages.
Bad dude.
Bad dates.
Bad dates.
Bad
Atlas.
dates.
Bad dates, Atlas.
So you were
Ensuring it's all ready, safe, and all that jazz.
correct, and that is for the so you Ozira and the rest of the embassy go to meet with
Patrician, I believe.
the patrician and the great chamberlain
Yes, of course.
and his advisors. Sabine, what do you do?
I'm going to get myself situated back at Arslan's stall because I'm pretty much moving in there. I mean, you know,
It'll be bigger soon when we get into the small tower.
well, no, you're moving into the small tower. I'm staying in the stall. Like that was the decision we made. We came to this agreement.
She agreed
Whether
to it,
you
and
wanted
you
to or not,
agreed that you
we came
agreed
to this
to it.
agreement. This is I helped you gather up support for you being in the neighborhood for the small tower, and Sabine is going to be living in your stall. Mm-hmm.
I don't remember quite like that.
That's what happened.
I mean,
You're not going to be living there anymore.
Security. Look
Yeah,
at that.
someone's going to have to watch over your stall when you're not there.
a verbal contract is a verbal contract, my
Yeah.
friend.
I mean, what did you think that was all free? All
I
that
thought we would all be
setting
setting up,
press essentially I
In
was
the
doing, that
small
PR I
tower,
was
so
doing
that-
for you?
but that was at the small tower.
Yeah,
so
for
that-
you. What was in it for Sabine? A place to live. And an alternate identity. She's living with a stall girl now. This has happened. This ship has set sail already. She's
So
gone.
just been waiting for a while to pull the trigger on that.
Really?
It's not my stall.
All right.
That's right, you're not dead, so it's a stall. Yeah, so Sabine's, setting things up and, for herself and Arsene's stuff.
I thought that you still need to sell. That's where you sell your stuff at.
Yeah, and
It
Layla,
is.
Layla the stall girl is going to be,
She's living in the back room.
yeah.
Yeah.
And,
You're very.
You're moving on up.
yeah, you're going to the small tower, remember? We had this whole conversation. Totally did.
Don't look at me.
This was told to you already,
I'm wandering back to the
months ago.
small tower.
I don't think it was
How
the
big
way,
is
the way that it's coming out.
Don't look at
I
me.
feel very much like Anupam at the moment.
Hey, what was that supposed to mean?
Say what?
At a bit of a memory disadvantage.
Well, I mean, if you don't remember, then that's probably how it went down.
So then otherwise you'll just owe her a favor then for all the PR she did.
Well, no, that's why we were going to all move into the small
Yeah, she's
tower.
not-
I don't think. I
Small
don't
tower.
look. I
Because it's
don't
more
think you want to
central.
owe her a favor.
No, the idea would be to set her up there so that it's more central to much more activity in the city.
In the small tower.
Yes.
But she doesn't want to live in the small tower. She wants to live in the stall. She arranged for a smooth transition for you to the small tower.
Did you make the distinction? That's the question.
Where did you say you were going, Atlas?
I'm gonna go check on the small tower.
Okay, it's still standing,
Right.
you know.
Is the door still there?
I'm just gonna go
It's a hell
check.
of a door, it better be there.
Right, just
Little-
gonna
Well, that's the thing that scares me. If the door's down, there's something
Make
bad
sure that
going
we
on.
don't have, people taking up residence.
And the purpose of this was to create a cover for you
Yes.
as a stall girl.
Yes.
And, so, I mean, I'm sure.
I wanted an
I'll agree
identity.
with it.
I wanted a public identity in this
I didn't
meeting.
think about it though, because I don't think we had the conversation that
Right.
I don't recall the part that you said that she could stay there permanently. I remember that one night
I
when
don't
you
remember
stayed
that
there.
either.
I remember letting her stay there. I guess that's the danger of letting somebody sleep on your couch because that's it. Good luck with that. You know?
squatters' rights and all, I
Right.
guess.
Yeah, so that may have been implied, sort of like
I mean, I like the idea of someone that is well armed, but doesn't look well armed to protect goods. I like that.
Yeah. She's already established. Layla the Stall Girl is an already established presence in the city as your assistant. This has already happened. Everyone knows
But that
Layla the Stall
wasn't
Girl now.
around here. That was near the small town.
No, it was everywhere. Everyone knows Layla the Stall Girl now.
This is why you get things in writing.
Yep. That's exactly
This is
what.
why you get things in writing or don't.
Both in and out of game.
People love Layla the Stall Girl.
I'm sure.
She's very sweet.
I know she's the
And
spy
very-
master for
Wears very
for
low
this
cut tops.
developing organization.
She hands out free samples.
I was just coming to find you. Such a familiar voice. Eliandro.
Ah, come. We would step inside. You know Sabine, of course.
And of course you recall
I don't
Eliandro.
know.
You're, I thought you'd been killed and buried in the desert.
We almost were, both.
We did our very best.
Where
but
is-
we managed to get it.
You're with your sister at, where's Anupam?
Good. I mean, I was assuming that I was just with everybody.
Okay, that's fine.
There, so.
And Arslan has,
Just
Atlas.
because you can come with me and check out the tower.
I mean, yeah.
Make sure there's no
I think
squatters.
I'd probably just go with Atlas to check out the tower if that's the case.
Okay, and you do.
Come. We shouldn't talk out there.
Welcome back and none the worse for wear, I see.
Tired, but ready to enjoy Vadashar again. Maybe that's not the right word. To be in Vadashar again.
Glad to be home.
I'm quite enjoying being in
I'm
Vadashar again.
glad
so-
to be home back.
For all its faults, it's much better than the open desert.
I love the fact that there's not sand everywhere.
Oh boy, there's sand everywhere. I love it.
Well,
How are things here?
I stand ready to pull the trigger on the crossbow whenever you're ready.
Do we have the ferryman?
I would have you come down and see the tunnels that start off near the trade harbor. And
In the eve or in the day?
sometime during the daytime. The lighting is a little bit better, even underground.
I'd like Atlas to accompany us.
Which reminds me that problem that we have, a third lockpicker. I thought I had an answer for that. Someone who has a natural lockpicking ability, somewhat of a legend, Nuri the Rat. But he says he won't work with Atlas.
I wonder why.
Surprise.
No point.
Mary has a sister then, does he?
Make a history roll.
10.
Okay, that's an easy difficulty. You know him by reputation. You know he's a great thief, but you don't know very much else about him. So I'm still looking. There's a pair of Arabi brothers that I have in mind, and they both work the docks. This is the question. We have to have some idea how you're going to transport it out to where. I'm assuming.
I was hoping that the sewer tunnels would have enough water to move boats through.
They do, but before we get there, it'll need to be carried out.
Well, we were going to use
I thought there were some exits from the.
silks
What's
to
it
get
up?
it from the second floor to first.
Or into even
I thought the sewer, there was a access to the sewers from the.
from inside the complex.
Yes.
There are.
You assuming you lower them out, you use silks to lower them down, and then they need to be carried out.
Yes, we
Onto a
need
boat. Yes?
to the boat, to get in 2 boats. So we need bodies or beasts to, I assume, to move all that. Is there room in that area? Could we
Beasts
get
are-
beasts in there?
Getting too complicated.
Then we need bodies.
Yes.
So we need,
Assuming you get into the vault, you will need, the silks can be used to lower, to use that,
slide them.
yes, to slide them down to the level you need them to, and then you'll need people to literally put them on the boats. If the people themselves are more on the boats, that limits the number of people who are actually in the treasure house at
Yeah.
that moment. Thus limiting the number of people who may.
We need more bodies. We need some extra monks, some extra lifters, people that can carry a burden and are trustworthy enough to not blow the whistle if they're caught standing about.
Or perhaps people who would be chased away if they were caught standing about, even in the sewers, such as Adolphus's rat people friends.
Maybe. He does have people that might be,
He has connections underground with
The beggar,
the beggars,
the
yes.
beggar king.
Yes.
ooh,
Is he trustworthy?
I would think not. I would
For a
not want to
cut.
lose a 100% cut of whatever he can move out. I would not trust him.
That's unacceptable.
What about, wasn't there a woman that he was speaking to at some recently about assisting?
Queen Esmira.
Queen Esmira. Do you know of her
Atlas.
trustworthiness with a project like this?
She's got a reputation, and she's already. Actually, you've already spoken to her about it, right?
And she has a crew.
Are they the right kind of crew? That becomes the question that we need. Are they deft of hand, or are they backs of steel? We kind of need the backs of steel at the moment, I think.
Just need bodies to carry.
Or a lot of them, that's true.
Yes. They just need to be trustworthy.
Queen Esmira has, if she can be coaxed out of retirement, she could probably be the one that picks the lock. Particularly as
the one last job you want to have as your last job.
Particularly as Nuri the Brat won't work with Atlas. Emphatic about it.
I don't know that we want anyone whose actual name is the rat trusted with our secrets.
He can get into any hole, into any space.
Any space?
Any hole.
So the legend goes.
So,
I think this is a project for Atlas to work. We need that third key.
if he's necessary, we can perhaps get him, but if Queen Esmira
Esmira is the one I'm thinking. I would much rather have Queen
better
Esmira.
at it. We need 2 people to pick the lock, and we do have 1 key.
Right. Well, there's 3 altogether. So, well, there's 3 locks. So she
Right.
says you
So
have
there's
2
1
people
key
plus the key.
and 2
Yeah.
people to pick the locks. We have Adonis, and you can't pick a lock?
I can pick a lock. I'm not sure about those locks.
All right.
I've never seen one like what he described to me.
So you would prefer to have a better lock picker?
I would do it, but I would rather have another one because we have the servant as the second one.
We have what?
You have Adams,
What's his name?
That was
Durhan.
Durhan.
but he's not gonna pick the lock.
No, he
No,
has.
he's got the key.
Right.
Right.
And we
Yeah.
have,
I mean, I
we
can
have
do it, you
the
can
Right.
do it,
correct,
we need a
yes, we have a
third, which would
copy.
be Quinn. He'll have, Atlas will have to give me some practice with that kind of a lock, whatever it is that
Or
he
Atlas
explained it.
himself can pick the lock.
No, if
It's
we've
Well,
got-
I
zero.
need to do
If
the
we've got
second
the
lock.
key,
There's three
Right.
and
locks.
there's
We
two of
can
us,
mirror
that's
Atlas,
three.
and then you turn the key.
One,
That's 3 people.
oh, we've got three.
You've got you and the key, and then Arslan, or a thief who might be.
A little better.
Right.
Exactly.
Arslan can turn the key, you can pick a lock, and perhaps Queen has mirror.
Right.
Arslan doesn't seem,
I
Durhan
can pick
is
a lock, I just never
Yes.
pick one like that.
right.
Right.
And Durhan is not going to necessarily come to you.
Right.
You know.
So does everything seem to be in order at the small tower? Or we maybe return to his shop to see if things have calmed down.
And what about the ferrymen, how do the tunnels exit, where do they come out to?
They're sewers, so
Sewers,
they.
right, where do they come out to?
So,
The river.
so you're going to have to.
But where in the room, we need to see that.
You're
Oh, that's
gonna-
what he wants to show us,
Yeah,
where it comes
right.
out.
perhaps a boat. We could rent a boat, like a large boat or small ship, to actually bring the goods up from the small boats when they reach the river.
Or just to tow the smaller boats, so there's not even the time wasted in moving them.
We could do that as well. We're having a conversation about how to get things out. Have we decided yet how any of us are going to get in? I have gotten into the neighborhood, but how will everyone get into the treasures?
We're thinking the tunnels that we would be taking them out would get us in, but there are gonna be concerns the moment we raise a hole into the street and climb out.
No,
So
we
we
did,
need to worry about
The hole
that.
goes into the
Should
treasure.
we come back while they're still conversing?
Yes.
Atlas, we were just speaking of you.
Yes, what did you do to, what was his name, Nuri the rat? Did you sleep with his sister as well? His mother?
Ew.
Snurry the rats.
His brother?
Make a history roll.
Remember what I did? How did I?
What did you roll?
Did you sleep with,
I was too drunk at the time.
did you sleep with Fanny the gerbil?
Well, you know who he is. I mean, he's a young. You've heard about the name by reputation. He's an up and coming thief from the.
That I've ever worked with him?
You've never worked with him. You know, yeah, he won't work with you. He's everything you hear about him is that he's cocky and impossible to
He's a prima donna, we don't need a
prima donna. Yeah, thinks that he's God's gift to women.
I haven't done-
I'm not kidding. He's a young version of me.
Yeah, how old is he exactly?
He's like probably about 19.
19?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Interesting. And what work
19
with
you say,
Atlas?
huh?
So what
How long you
about,
been in Vadashar?
And he's just
20
like,
years.
Actually, that actually raises an interesting point. How long have you been in Vadashar?
He was born in Vadashar.
Oh, he was born in Vadashar. And this
So-
this young man is 19 years old, you say?
Interesting.
Well, whatever. I don't know. he's a
so
young.
what,
he's a young
Esmeralda,
Esmira.
Esmira.
Mhm.
could you coax her out of retirement
Anything's possible.
for this particular job?
I mean, I'd already talked to her about, working with us, so she's all on board as far as coming
Supplying
into the.
other people is not the same thing as her coming and turning a key and taking on the risk herself.
Correct.
But high risk, high reward.
Perhaps Nuri the rat could be convinced to work with you. I might be
Two
able to do
options.
I've never met the kid.
Not
Not on one. But he has enough of a reputation that you have heard.
I'm not there, obviously speaking, but something that Jeffrey would have mentioned is he intends to get in via if things pan out via his sister's +1 as a part of the entity, because no doubt she will be invited to Lord Tremalki's party.
Remember, there's a party that night.
Right. Yes, Sabine
That's
and
how-
Adupalm
That's how we're getting.
are able to get in.
I think that's how we're all
We have
planning to get in.
We have
Right.
it.
Yes. Well, even if I brought the two of you, we're still next door. We're not in the treasure house.
Correct.
I will be accompanying my dear
Guarded
sister as the
treasure
+1
house.
to my way into the Lord Tremalki's party and then into the treasure house. Such is my plan.
And that is the case. We need to move from one place to the other inside there that is heavily guarded and watched, and
It is right next door. How hard could it be to get from there to there?
Well, how many guards are posted inside the compound and outside it?
on the most valuable box of property in the city.
Yeah.
Yes. I observed
Probably
quite
more
a few
than two.
guards when I went there to meet
Well, I'm
them.
not saying
It's all a front. There are really
I'm
only
not
two
going to
guards.
say-
And it's just,
I mean, look, I'm not saying it's unguarded, but all I'm saying is that,
They're all spent.
would it be that difficult to possibly just kind of skirt around them? If
There's only a few entrances, and the guards are guarding the entrances, and then there are guards inside.
Well, apparently there's
there are
a-
established entrances, and then there are entrances you
Apparently there's a
I had
sewer
somebody
tunnel that goes up
looking in-
into the.
I had
And you
The-
may
as
go
Mira
treasure
to
looking
house.
into this, some of
They
the
may go
stuff,
that
trying
But
to
if we're in
find
the city, we still have to get
other
into the
ways
sewers
in
somehow
via
and
the
then back
sewer.
up
I mean, I
and
had
around.
put some people to work on that before
We
that.
need to know how to do that and where to
Yes,
spend all night trying to figure it out. That may even be protected. We don't know
Perhaps.
that.
I was say, are there any points where perhaps they
So-
share?
Yeah,
any,
she was looking. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
that
was
was-
that was.
perhaps?
That was one of the
yeah.
things. I was
We share a
having
wall.
had
It was
people looking into
across the
trying to
street.
get in
Oh, it
through
was
the
across the
sewers.
street.
Okay,
I thought
That's my
it's
concern.
next to it. I thought you.
Into
No,
Okay.
sadly,
Okay.
that was my
Sure.
concern.
That would be a lot
They
easier to work
found
with.
them.
That's why I was like, right.
Because
Well,
if we're already there, we still need to get into the sewers and back up and around.
how many
To avoid the
feet
street.
is the street in between Lord Tremalki's and the treasure house?
Probably the width of this room. It's literally a short alley. It goes from one gate to an alley, a vine-covered gates to a dark alley to another across the other alley.
I mean, I could clear that distance easily.
Precisely my thought.
You need a second story, man.
And Tarantinos
Do
enters
that.
and says, "Master Aslan, there is someone here to see." I forget the lady's name.
Sabine.
Yes, but what? I forget what we call her.
What you call her? Oh, you mean Layla?
Yes, right.
Well,
Yes.
let me just
Sabine, there's someone here to see Layla.
okay, put my hair up and make myself more Layla looking. Take off some of my highlighter. Pinch my cheeks. I go see who's here to see me. Or her.
I pinch my cheeks and look in a mirror like, what does that mean?
It is a man dressed in the a well-dressed man with the wearing the fashions that you would recognize of Vanar, the city-state of the Dread overworld.
Oh no.
I curtsy to him.
My master, the Lord Penthon, requests that you join him at his villa at your earliest convenience.
He requested me, Layla. Very well. Tell Lord Penton that I'll be right over.
Thanks so you know, it says, he will see you for tea.
Very well. Tell Lord Kenton that I humbly accept his gracious invitation.
He leaves. A chill wind blows through the
It's
entire.
cold in here.
Well, it's as I said, Layla the Stall Girl is very popular. She's gotten you quite a wonderful reputation. You should really have her installed permanently.
Installed.
Do you want to go with me to go talk to Queen Esmera to see what she's...
Well,
Been
I
up
think
to.
we need to go see the tunnel entrances, or the tunnels themselves even.
Okay.
Alejandro came to
Okay,
see if we
let's
could
go.
look, but I wanted to see it with you. I wanted us to go
Okay.
take a look at what's happening in there, how it functions.
Let's go take a look at it.
And
Would you like to accompany? Oh, you're going to see someone.
Layla the Stall Girl is popular.
Layla the Stall doesn't have to go into the sewers.
Should not go into the sewers.
Has no intention of going.
Anupam, what are you up to?
Huh. I mean, everybody's just kind of splitting up. I don't know what to do now. I mean, we didn't get to go check out the tower, did we? Or oh no, we did.
Yeah.
We did check out the tower, and everything was fine.
You can come with us.
Are you at the
The
temple?
sewers.
I mean, that's still where I'm. That's still where I'm.
Transportation.
Still
You
where I'm
want to come
staying.
to the
Technically,
sewers?
yeah.
We'll go
I
spunking.
mean, I could just go back to the temple for a bit, just kind of check in, let them know that I'm back in town, and you know that we returned triumphantly. However you wanted to find that.
Waiting to find another day is a very triumphant return.
That's a fair point.
I also have something else I want to do after I see Lord Kenton.
After you see Lord Kenton?
Yes. Or before if I have time.
What is it that you want to do?
I want to go to the Temple of Ishtar in the city and find out more about that man.
Do you do that before or after you?
If I have enough time before, I do it before.
Probably don't.
Okay. Then I do it or another day.
And Anupam, you get to the temple, to the temple in Ziggurat, and it's generally business as usual there. You know, various of the canons see you and they nod, they say hello. You see Castorno has drawn a particularly wicked cartoon this week, and he's very impressed with himself.
guy, yeah.
And you find that there is that your small, neatly apportioned, accommodations are everything is in order, and on your pillow is a note.
Oh.
Oh, no, it's...
Fancy
I
one.
haven't gotten one of these before.
Oh no.
Now you get to have
Oh,
the trouble
yes.
trying to open it.
Oh yes, absolutely. This is gonna be great.
Now let me see it first. I just want everybody to see
okay,
it first.
sure.
It's from the Rakshas in charge of your district.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. A
Whoa.
little
I
concerned.
can't wait to burn it.
A little concerned about what this is. Should have gone with him.
Let's see. Alright. Alright. That opening and then that open. Okay. So right down and then princely.
And,
Oh, may I? Okay, fine.
hey, you guys do the same to me.
Fair enough, fair enough. To the rightly honored and princely Anupam Dewar, 10th of that name, son of the Mantri Samir of the Royal House of Dewar, from my Serene Highness Akbar VIII, Prince and Nawab of Gurdwara, greetings to you, cousin. I hope that Lord Shavandra and the good Devas bring you continued health and good fortune. I have heard from my good and loyal servant and ambassador I don't even know what that word is.
Plenipotentiary.
Plenipotentiary, there you go.
All powerful.
Lord Tahir Khan, that you are living in near squalor in far distant Vadashar and would have it otherwise. Is there some financial or other beneficence in keeping with your blood and personal honor that I can bestow upon you through the agency of Tahir Khan that will provide you with a measure of aid and comfort. As a tangible sign of my goodwill and the benevolence I feel towards you, both as a kinsman and as a sovereign to an errant and wayward fellow son of Gudwara, I hereby elevate you and your heirs of the body to the rank of Bahadur, a hero of the state. With honors that shall accrue to one whose loyalty to Gudwara is surpassed only by his dedication to the memory of his order, the lost brothers of the Scale of Fate. Perhaps you would help me in restoring that society to its former glory with new battles to be fought in the name of the balance. I am looking forward to your reply, Cousin Anupam, Akbar, 8th of that name, Prince and Nawab of Gudwara.
That was a nice letter.
And
Elevated.
no, wasn't.
Elevated. That's a positive.
It's like you are now it's a night of Vichy France.
Hey kid, you want a medal?
You want to join the Nazi party?
Wow.
I don't
You
know.
have great uniforms.
Well, those are some pretty slick uniforms.
Look at the boots. The boots are really nice.
And we hear you're
Shiny.
living near Squall.
Yeah, we hear you're not doing so well on your own.
We hear you're not doing so well.
You can always come back. The family misses you.
Enter to your
A couple of the priests of as you there's a knock on your cell, and one of them enters and sees the look on your face and steps back. It's the librarian, Baoud. He's got a book.
What time of day is it right now?
It's daytime. It is still daytime.
Like roughly around like a little past noon?
Yeah, sounds
early-
about right.
Okay.
Plenty of chance to have business
I
and
remember-
make new friends.
I remember where the Blood and Bone is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, boy. Fight
I would like
club.
to go visit the Blood and Bone if that's alright.
With great purpose, Anupam departs and goes to seek out a fighting pit.
I'm gonna punch you good.
Oh, you have no idea.
I'm gonna punch you so good you wish I never punched you. That's how good I punch you.
Oh boy.
Where did we leave you?
Going to the
Arson.
sewers.
We were gonna go with Alejandro into
Check out
see
the
the tunnels.
Do you have that? Do you have it?
Yeah.
So he takes you down into a. Basically, you find your way. Find your way. You go towards the trade harbor, which is a rather. Vadashar is on a river, and it has a good-sized harbor. Off the harbor are a series of water engineering apparatus which allow water to come in and to irrigate certain parts of the city, including the gardens of Kamal, which is the area where our the treasure house of the lictors happens to be located in. So you wind your way underground, and the tunnels are kind of represented by this. Generally speaking, by custom and law, make it's the three of you. Actually, it's you two. Oh yeah, it's Atlas and Arslan. Sure. So make perception rolls.
19.
Nice. So as I mentioned before, the treasure house is located above ground in the gardens of Kamal, which is a district that originally was established by a giant king, the first king of Vadashar, lush vegetation that is irrigated via these underground tunnels that connect to the river Zama. Originally they were fairly straightforward, but over the centuries they've been modified with connecting passageways like the ones that you've seen. And likewise, they've been sealed off. As you go through there, you find metal gratings, and you also see that certain tunnels have been sealed off by masonry and the work of artisans. And What did you roll for perception?
19.
17.
Okay. You detect that on much of the masonry as you go by, and this might even be things that you know, but you see it you see it firsthand. Signs of let's call them, the mark of masons or mark of people that have been there before, that have been responsible for creating constructions or the tunnels or putting in the grades.
Maker's marks.
Yeah, like maker's marks. Right, exactly. And make another, both of you two make another perception.
Do we recognize any of the marks? I mean, they're probably too old, most of them. But
Maybe.
I don't recognize them.
Okay.
A
I don't
natural.
think
I rolled an
I fell off
18.
You rolled an
the
18?
rolling surface.
Almost. Yeah, I'm 27.
Okay. So you look around. You see a recurring pattern of quite a few as you a double B, like a B back to back with another B. Particularly in more recent construction.
Nice.
And you also find that basically you can bring rafts up the river into the entrances of the sewers, and they can come in where they connect with these kinds of connecting underground tunnels, which were probably a pain in the ass, as an engineering feat, because it requires water to be able to come in to irrigate the gardens, the people that can afford to do it. So, but it also does provide an opportunity to get through these this network of sewers and feeder tunnels.
And will it lead into the area that we believe is in or under the treasure house?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, well, you are in the.
at some point we find the spot that
You
goes
are
right up into.
right to the gardens of exactly. To
And there's
the
nothing
gardens.
guarding, and there's no guards down here, or do we see or hear guards, or we're told by?
No, because it's it's more of a. These are more like public works tunnels.
You know if there's a guard that sits above this in the treasure house?
These would take you into the. Everybody make a. Well, no, there's no, not there.
Bathroom
There's
stalls.
there's no.
Bathroom.
It doesn't open up into a bathroom, right? Exactly. Yeah.
Question for the DM.
No.
Would Lord Tremalkies have enough political pull to give someone a tour, or have himself have a tour of the treasure house? Or does nobody do that?
You don't know the answer to that question, but you don't know the answer to that question.
Something to ask Lord Tremalkies.
It's a high-risk ask.
It is. Call it Plan W. Or why would you want
Can I
it?
spend some time actually?
And certainly all of the surviving lictors have access to it also.
And do we know who the surviving lictors are?
I know one of them.
This.
Yeah. Yeah, one of them.
Count Marhadrathus is one of the surviving lictors. And the other is Count Xiaodin Dalavas, who is the uncle of the patrician. And then the last one is dead, is the one that Dirhan had worked for.
Can I spend some time in the next few days just following some of these maker's marks and just to try to navigate my
Make another
way around?
investigation. Do you have a good investigation?
21.
Better than me. I didn't roll well. 13.
So you find a series of these double Bs
We need to go see if there are plans.
Well, let's follow these and see where it goes.
Both of you make a history roll.
21.
6.
Okay. Doesn't sound familiar. And so what do you guys do? What do you do, Arslan?
I think we need to go find who this maker is, and maybe if he's still alive, either you probably can't make a deal, but we can probably break in, see, or even steal plans. I'm a little leery of stealing them and then moving on from.
My thought was to those maker marks to follow where we keep on seeing them, and kind of as a map itself.
Above.
It is a map of sorts.
It is.
I was gonna say we could
But how
spend
do
some
you-
time.
You'd have to come out above in each spot so you would know.
Just
Yes,
jog
you do it at
and
night.
And some of the maker's marks of this double B are on sealed off areas also.
We really need to know 2 routes. That's it.
And I was also thinking we can talk to Queen Ismira, see what she knows of this underground area.
So that's the way you want to go, that way, and not the rat.
I don't know him.
Then why would he not work with you?
Maybe he's jealous. I'm trying to make a name for himself. Being a pain in the ass.
Yeah, jealousy.
What do you do?
Well, I'm just gonna get myself ready to go to tea at local places. And that's about it until, it's around noon, you said?
Yeah, and traditional Venaran tea is like mid-afternoon, so early afternoon.
Right.
Yeah,
So I have some time,
Yeah,
but I don't have enough time to go to the Temple of Ishtar.
do that afterwards. You get ready for your
Yeah.
tea with Lord Kenthon, and you
I start making myself at home in the stall, my new residence.
moving stuff around.
Yeah.
You know,
Just moved it. I can't find it.
Arslan has this St. Pauli girl sign that's been hanging there for 20
Take
years. She
that
takes it down, puts it behind.
She's tidied up and I can't find anything.
A neon PBR sign that's up there.
Yep,
Look,
get rid of that.
I left you your trophies
Right, your stuff's in the corner. You can bring
In
it
the
into
corner.
your new residence.
underneath a bundle of. So you make it to the villa. It's in Old Town, but in a nice, respectable part of Old Town. It's a very wealthy portion villa that looks like it might have been even selected with an eye to a Venaran person in mind. It has a lot of Arabesque decoration, and you are escorted in by
One of the maker marks.
Venaran
Under
servants.
or right here at the small tower.
What's that?
Does the sewer come up near or in the small tower? Nowhere near
Because you're not in the Gardens of Kamal.
These are all in the Gardens of Kamal,
Yeah.
nothing outside.
Those areas are underneath the gardens. They appear to be service tunnels for accessing irrigation apparatuses,
They're rich enough to afford actual plumbing.
or former, yeah, exactly, right, or former irrigation tunnels, former tunnels that existed there. You are escorted to the gardens of
Or Lord Kenthon's
Lord
tea.
Kenthon's house, and you have met him before, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, he was the one kind enough to pawn me off to the Archpriest of Fall.
That's right. He met you. That's right.
And tell him exactly who I was.
Exactly.
Yes.
And he's Lord Kenthon is about 40. He's very handsome. Not as handsome as
Deal.
as a deal.
God.
Correct.
Forget
Of the
it, deal.
desert.
Yes. I will hate him forever.
Maybe you'll see him again.
I will find him, slit
Oh,
his
you better
throat.
hope not.
I will take him apart piece by piece. Okay, getting back to Lord Kenton. I curtsy deeply. My lord.
It is nice to see you again, mistress.
It is nice to see you as well, Lord Kenton. I am both surprised and delighted by this invitation.
Well, I'm certain you are surprised. May I interest you in some tea?
Please.
And you smell the very, there is a large earthenware samovar in the center of the room, a very traditional samovar with cups. And you smell the very, very strong ginger tea of Benar. And it smells excellent.
And just like ginger tea, there's no subtle hints of almonds or anything in it.
Are you allergic to almonds?
No, I'm
Oh, no. It's not poison.
no subtle peach or
Yes. There's the subtle bitter almonds.
Yes.
Peach almond flavor.
And a servant serves the two of you, and I drink to your health, my guest, and offer you the safety of my home. And he drinks first.
I drink as well. After him. Thank you, my Lord Kenton. You do me great honor.
I regret that our initial meeting was took you somewhat aback.
Yes, it was revealing.
I myself was placed in a position where I was required to betray your confidence for the Archpriest. Perhaps he wanted to come to your rescue to have you owe him some measure of protection.
Possibly, but the Archpriest has proven to be very useful to us.
It is not unwise to cultivate the assistance of those in power in the place where one lives.
Precisely. I would not hold it against you.
I promise you that no one else here knows who you are or what you are.
Are you absolutely sure of that?
I can be certain of nothing, but I can promise you that I have not betrayed you. Beside the one time.
I would not think that you had, my lord.
I feel I owe you a debt. Perhaps Ehrlich and the Fates will allow us to rectify any perceived distress between us.
I am not at all distressed by my lord at all. But if you wish to do something for me, I'm sure I could come up with some favor.
You say you are not distressed.
Not at all.
Should I be?
I don't see why not. We are, of course, on the same side, with the same aims, are we not?
You meant to say you don't see why.
Why you would be distressed? No.
I have received letters from you, for you from home, which is unusual too. Maybe your contact might be the one that would receive. You have received letters from. Have you received any letters from home?
I have not.
Okay, never mind. But it might be unusual. You do have a Duminoy contact here.
Yes, it would be weird to go through Lord Kenton. I think, at least.
Prefers them to you.
And they're unbroken.
Yes.
Probably not read at all.
Probably.
I read these out loud?
You should read them out loud for the benefit of those who are.
But none of you hear it.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
The first day of Ravana, the year of Zul 12,019. Songstress. The will of the dread overlord has been made known to we his servants of the Dumanoi, and your name has been selected for a mission of both important and dangerous. For more than 20 years, Vadashar has harbored a large popular of Arabi.
Populace.
Oh, populace, okay.
Sorry.
Populace of Arabi. Those who came at the invitation of the city when it was ruled by the fanatical heretics of the hegemons of the Pearl. Sent for in order to labor at rebuilding the areas of the city destroyed during the Imperial Quranian invasion. But Vadashar's changing politics has made employing those Arabi politically impractical, if not dangerous, for the patrician and his advisors. And so the Arabi sit in their tenements and seethe. His dread and supreme highness commands that their time for seething is now at an end. You will infiltrate and gain the trust of Vadashar's Arabi community, with an ultimate aim of enlisting the populace as clients of Vanar. Godrigo will provide details. The Honakan Savages also advises me that an embassy will be leaving Vanar and arriving in Vadashar that will include several members of our legislative assembly. One particularly, a member of the 30 judges, has been decreed by the dread overlord to be sent for Erlich's judgment. You are, I think, acquainted with the man. The honor of this task is yours. Further instructions and information concerning the embassy will follow. One last thing. Please advise me if Godrigo exhibits signs of exhaustion or other causes for concern. From the smoke, Dance Master. Interesting. Alright, I have a job to do apparently. Oh, personal. Akeda, my daughter. I hope this letter finds you in joyful health. Well, shit. Okay. I hope this letter finds you in joyful health, and that you are taking care of yourself. I received joyful news this day from His Excellency Judge, how does he say his name? Kunwarda, who has been chosen for a signal honor to travel to Vadashar as part of an embassy from His Most Dread and Supreme Highness the Dread Overlord, a joyful responsibility that will bring great honor to our house and by extension you. This joyful information was communicated to me by none other than your friend Risos, who says that normal forms of discretion may be dispensed with since it is rare for me to have the joyous permission to write directly to you. I hope that wherever you are, you find moments to reflect on the blessings of life and the hardships that came before, to allow us to enjoy the fruits of my and now your hard work. Ugh. I often think of you during a day, wondering if at any given moment you are singing the same songs or inspired by the same type of mosaic or portrait. Beauty is all around us, just don't be distracted by it. With great and unrelenting joy, your mother.
Mommy.
She does not feel great and unrelenting joy.
She never does. It's a very unusual phrase for her to use too. All those pleasantries of joy.
So coded. Like, she's not, Sabine is not showing her inside machinations, but she's just reading it. Oh, lovely. Personal messages from home and
Nothing else.
interesting information as well. It's always good to receive letters from home.
Arslan and Atlas, where do you?
Once we're finished in there, we should probably head back. It'll start getting dark. I'm assuming we're in the towers.
It's still daytime. It's still daytime.
Oh, okay.
You so you start heading back to.
Yeah, I'd like to start us writing down the points on creating kind of a map around what we think they are, so we can start verifying them over time.
And I wanted to talk to Queen Ismail to see if she knows anything about this particular maker's mark.
I'll see you back at the stall.
Small tower. Oh, the stall?
Yeah, I haven't moved all my stuff into the small tower because we haven't cleaned it out yet.
Okay. I have everything.
But your stuff is in a nice, neat little box.
Waiting for you to take it out.
This is the most painful day of Carson's life here. A very disconcerting moment. It just keeps going.
Still your stall? You're going to be living elsewhere. Don't
We
you
have to
want
put a
someone
sign up
to
on
watch over your stall while you're gone?
We're going to take a break, and we're going to come back. When we do, we are going to pick up with Anupam at the Blood and Bone, and also we'll visit with Kepri and his sister. Stay with us.
Oh boy.
Great, I'm gonna release
Yeah, we're back.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Cliff Dunn. We're back. When last we before our break, Arslan and Attalus were leaving the tunnels beneath the gardens of Kamal. Attalus was going to have a parley with Queen Asmira, one of the master thieves of Vadashar. Arslan was heading back towards his, I like to call it a stall, so much as his place of business. And Sabine, where were you? Well, you were just finishing.
I was at tea with Lord
you were
Kendron getting
finishing
this
tea.
lovely letter from my mother that I'm decoding. And it's making me think that one of my multiple suspicions about her might be true. The hardships that came before to allow us to enjoy the fruits of my and now your hard work make Sabine's gears turn.
If that is in fact your real name.
Right.
Isn't. Oh, you don't know that.
It's probably Becky.
It's this, yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
If that's your real name.
Candy with a warm.
That may not be your
Yeah,
mother,
Candy
who knows?
Candy
That's
with an
right.
eye and heart or the eye.
No, I think it is my real mother because she uses the word joy about 56 times in here, and that is.
And you recognize her handwriting.
And her little codes.
Her mother sucked all the joy out of her.
Yeah.
Welcome news?
Oh, just do you know His Excellency Judge Kunwarda?
I do.
He will be traveling to Vadashar as part of an embassy for His Most Dread and Supreme Highness.
I have heard. I have received word that an embassy of officials is coming from my cousin, the Overlord.
Interesting.
You have a part to play in this? An official part? Or perhaps
It's
official
just
one?
a message from my mother saying that the judge who was so kind to us in my youth will be here. I'm sure she would like me to visit him once he arrives.
And of the other missive you received?
Oh yeah, that.
Oh,
It is from a friend. It suggests that I
Yes, I know this friend. I recognize his seal.
yes,
Or
he,
his lack of one.
His whole candle on the letter.
suggests that I make friends with the group here, and it sounds like it's important to him that I do so. Out of character, Kenthon's not one of the Dubenoi, yes? I mean, he's not my contact in the Dubenoi.
He's not your
but
contact.
I don't know if he's in the Dubenoi or...
You don't know, that's correct.
Do I feel like he is genuinely wants to see his cousin's aspirations come to fruition?
sounds like it.
Make an insight check.
It is a 23.
What's your question?
Does he want the Dread Overlord's aspirations to come to fruition? Or is he just kind of working for himself most of the time? I know he's not a friend, I have been warned.
Not a friend to you.
Me.
Who are you warned by?
To the Archpriest.
Okay. He's given you no reason to think that he's disloyal.
Okay.
But you don't necessarily, but your question was, you were asking a question that
do I feel like he wants the Dread Overlord's wishes,
Sure.
aspirations to come to fruition, or
hard
is he
to-
more working for himself?
Understood. In so far as you don't know if he knows what the Dread Overlord's aspirations are,
Okay.
perhaps, but he seems to be both competent and he hasn't given you any reason to think that he's not loyal.
I'm just gonna leave it at that for now, but my friend has suggested that I become close with a particular group. He knows what I do, but if he doesn't ask, I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Your friend has asked you to do what?
I told him that my friend has asked me to become friends with a particular group.
To become friends with
A particular group,
a particular group. Gotcha.
yes. And I wasn't going to.
Did you tell him what group?
No,
Okay.
I'd say that's where I was gonna leave it.
I got you.
And then drink my tea.
Do you like your tea?
It is very good, thank you. It reminds me of home.
If I can be of any assistance to you concerning your work here for His Supreme Highness, I'm at your service, a loyal citizen.
Thank you, my lord. I may take you up on that at some point, but I think now for the moment, just going about my daily business, doing the things I need to do, that is probably the best choice for me. You know, things happen in this world based on 1,000 tiny incidents, more so than a single great act. Don't you agree?
If you're saying to me things happen for a reason,
Well, I suppose it would be our reasons. Merely that what we do every day can sometimes matter more.
sometimes things happen for other people's reasons.
Yes, it's true. But if they're aligned with our reasons, why should we protest?
Once again, I'm glad to have been of some small service to you. Please come consider my door open to you again.
Thank you, my lord. And thank you for the tea. It was excellent. Okay. When we're done with tea, unless he wishes me to stay
He's very
longer.
cordial. He goes through the forms. I mean,
Yeah, I stay for tea, chat politely.
you have little cakes
Right.
and ginger tea.
Tiny savories.
Yes.
And when we're done with that, and protocol has been observed, unless he needs me to stay for anything, I will cordially make my.
He offers you something stronger than tea also, if you would like.
Oh, I very much appreciate it, but no, thank you. I have much work to do.
Again, if you have any need of assistance with your work, please let me know.
I have managed to cultivate a small population of locals.
I didn't mean
That
to
serve my
suggest that
needs.
you weren't competent at your work. I
Oh,
just
of
mean
course
that
not. Of course
it might be helpful to have a friend.
Yes, I greatly honor your friendship, Lord Kendall.
He gives you the secret Ehrlich sign to show you that you're both worshippers of the correct state cult.
Out of character,
May the Dread Overlord continue to reign, and may Ehrlich's judgment be upon you.
I hope it is fair judgment, and blessings of Ehrlich be upon you, my lord. Out of character, I don't trust him enough to ask him for any help.
Okay, I
Yeah,
understand. I wouldn't expect you to.
Yeah, I'm very wary of him.
Of course. It's a very...
It doesn't help that he outed me,
Yeah.
my lord.
You go. Do you leave your letters?
No.
Making sure.
Hells no.
Want to check?
The letters are already so far in my clothing that
She shoved one.
people have to buy me dinner before they
Boy, you forget who you're talking to?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And they have a contact poison on
Yeah. Yeah, they're already poisoned.
Unpumped. Roll initiative.
Oh, excellent.
I almost
Yes.
rolled a 20 just then. I
man.
had a 20 and then it
Fell.
fell.
That's a 22 for me.
Nice.
Derek, well, you would have beaten me either way.
Yeah.
So, you've been at the fighting pit for some time, and you are working out some of your frustrations. I'm gonna let you roll to hit. You're actually fighting a group of 3 people that are fighting together as a team.
Alright, it's almost not fair.
There's a very good the odds are in their favor, and so they've bet a lot of money on themselves.
Oh, that's good. Good for them. Let's see. That's a 17 to hit.
That hits.
Okay. Second strike.
Are you hitting? Are you going after 1? Or are you going after 2?
I'm
Or going after 3?
I'm going after all 3. I got 3 strikes, so I'm going after all 3.
3 strikes, they're out.
17 on the second strike as well.
Okay.
And then natural 20 on the third.
They both, all 3 of them.
Yep, there we go. So that is 7 points of damage to one, 7 points of damage to the other, and 13 points of damage to the third. There's a crit.
Wait, give me that again. 13.
Yeah.
And what was the other?
It
2?
was 7 and 7.
Okay. A 7 and 7.
Yeah,
Nice.
exactly.
Okay. And now they attack. Ooh, 2 hits.
Okay.
One of them is using a.
Whip. Lasso.
Flail.
A flail.
Okay.
There we go. This is my flail.
Yeah. I knew what you meant.
It's either a flail or
a party spinner.
Or a party spinner, right?
Manual exeter.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
0G.
Happy New Year.
You take altogether 6 points.
Okay.
Thunk, thunk. And the other guy's using a really nasty club. Nasty, not because it's like a particularly badass club, but it just looks like it's been in nasty places before. So,
Yeah, fair enough.
so you may have to take a saving throw for other things.
Yeah.
But either
That's
way,
all good.
it's all good. You get to roll again.
Alright, cool. So I'm gonna roll to hit the first guy. I figure, let's concentrate fire, get one down at a time. So one guy, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's gonna hit. That's gonna be 24 to hit.
You hit.
That's gonna be 5 points of damage to him. And
This is the guy you had done 7 points to?
Yes,
before?
yes,
Okay.
yes. And I'm gonna attack the same guy again.
The same guy?
Same guy.
Okay, you're
Same
concentrating your
Yeah, I'm
attacks on one
concentrating
guy.
for right now until he drops. That's a 19 to hit,
You hit him,
8 points of damage.
and teeth fly
Yep.
as he falls backwards into the sand.
Cool, excellent. Second guy now. The other guy who took second.
And his buddy's like, "Ah, yeah!"
Yeah, I'm gonna punch him right in his open mouth. That's definitely it. That's a natural 19. That's 7 points of damage to him.
That was your other 7-point guy.
Yes, that's the other 7 point.
He's taking 14 points, and then you have a 13-point guy.
Exactly. And I'm actually I'm spending a key point for flurry of blows, so that's one more hit. Pretty much. I'm pretty sure that one's gonna miss though. It's only an 11 to hit.
Okay. But I like your enthusiasm.
Yeah.
They
killed my
back.
Then you do that.
Why?
They both miss you. 20.
All right. Next one's up. Back to the same guy. Natural 20.
You hit.
So that actually ends up being 2 plus 2, 4. So 8 points of damage on that one.
Okay.
Alright. He's still up?
He's still up, but
Okay.
barely.
Okay, that's cool. Second strike.
Same guy or a different guy?
Same guy.
Okay.
23 to hit. And
You
that's 5 points of damage.
And you knock his block off, not literally, but you hear his jaw crack
Nice.
as you swat him.
Alright,
And his
now-
other friend's like scared and pissed. And by scared pissed I mean he's scared and he's pissed himself.
And it's like, oh.
And he
Just walk
swings at
away.
you.
Just walk away.
natural 20.
Of course he does.
He cracks you on the side of the head with his club. You take
Just trying to be nice.
You like the guard now?
4
did.
points.
Alrighty. So that brings that to that. I was trying to be nice to you, but now forget it. 17 to hit.
You hit,
7 points of damage.
and he
Yep.
bounces up and down on the sand. And the crowd goes wild.
I walk out. Or walk out the pit at least.
You make 3 gold coins.
Yeah, right?
Here's your cut,
3
kid.
coins.
You are clearly a man who wished to work off excess energy tonight, my friend.
You're not wrong.
It says a familiar but not heard for a long time voice. A beak.
Oh, 2. I'll say in Gondahar, I wasn't expecting to see you here tonight.
I have a confession to make, my friend, and please do not take this amiss, but I have been watching you since your return to Vadashar. I was watching you before you departed the city-state, but I did not realize that you had gone for as long as you did. I myself have been recuperating from injuries sustained while on an extended trip from the city. I would tend to your injuries at your sufferance and perhaps share a cup of wine or the local swill with you.
Yeah, that'd be nice actually. Thank you.
I have no reason to believe you would remember me. I am Abik. We met when I believe you first came to the city.
I do remember you actually. I haven't really met anybody else I haven't met any other countrymen that I care to speak of at least.
In this you are not alone, my friend.
Yeah,
Well, present company accepted.
of course.
I could tell when I first met you that Kanandi had a reason for bringing me here, and it was not just to find the despised Sahul. Come, I will
Right. Yeah, I'll follow.
give this one the pleasure of your company.
Of course. I mean, trust me, I could use your company right now, if anything. And I'll follow him to a table.
You do.
We have an idea.
Okay.
Oh.
Where are we?
I have nightmares that start that way.
Well, let's start with let's
They have an idea. They can
well,
You will put it in your head.
Okay.
Nori the rat as a patsy. Somebody's got to take the fall. Make it look like
Sure.
he'd be perfect.
Okay.
What if he's Adelys's kid?
Yeah, please don't go there. It's so these kinds. No, not you. You're fine. I mean, these little things, like all of a sudden,
Yes.
it's not. It's
Okay.
like it's.
He probably is, but you know.
What if he really is Adelys's kid, though?
Yeah.
So you were heading off to Queen Esper, and you find her. Where did we say that she?
She's in the
The Jackal's
old
Head.
town.
The Jackal's Head or something to that effect?
Black Jackal Bar in Rabbit's Run.
Yeah, she is in the Black
That's
Jackal
pretty close, well remembered.
in Rabbit's Run. In Rabbit's Run, correct.
I remember
which is
other
a-
things.
Which is a tougher tavern in a tougher neighborhood in the city, correct?
Is she there? Oh, we'll walk in.
She is.
Around.
Well, look who's here.
Spare a few moments of your time.
I was wondering when you'd come back. I thought maybe you'd gotten cold feet out of this.
Spent far too long in the desert. Still finding sand in places it shouldn't be.
I see that you've got a little bit of a tan. The desert, eh? A city boy like you?
It didn't go well.
You learned your lesson.
Yes, stay out of the desert.
It's a good lesson.
It is.
What can I do for you, dearie?
Well, we've been talking with a few of our partners in this venture we're going into, and it seems that we're short one rope of someone with the type of skills that you have. And I was wondering...
Yes, I've heard. I've also heard that Nuri the Brat won't work with you.
What is wrong with him? I've never worked with him.
Kids.
Well, and that was another thing I was thinking. Maybe we can set him up to take the fall for this. That'd be a little bit. I know it's a little far for him to reach.
For him?
No.
Hey, it's on you.
I wonder if she made him not accept it. So
Well-
we have nowhere else to go.
Speak plainly. What are you asking me?
If you could increase your role in this endeavor, we need another person with the skills that you and I possess to open the doors that we need to get through. There's 3 doors.
In the treasure house.
Yes.
3 locks.
Yes.
1 door, 3 locks. I mean the treasure house door.
Yes.
You're asking me to come out of retirement.
I'm thinking this would be the capstone of your career. Send you off into a splendid, spectacular retirement.
I bet you'd like to send me off into a spectacular retirement, you little son of a bitch.
No! Not at all. You still need your wisdom and your knowledge. It's invaluable.
One last job, eh? I'll have to bring my man Habib with me. I'll need some help, and he and I have worked together. She looks over her shoulder, and you know that he's one of these big, huh?
Two-headed, you just like movement like
Yeah,
two-headed.
right. He looks like he could be two-headed. He's big, and he's extra muscle.
It's agreeable. Do you, speaking of, well, not of muscle, but we were also exploring down underneath, and I show her the particular maker's mark with the back-to-back bees. Are you familiar with this maker's mark?
I might have been, but the die rolled. I don't recognize it.
It was in the areas of the newer construction. I was trying to see if there might be a way that we could get some information from this person. Tell her what I saw in the areas and where it appeared. Cover up some of the new construction, or their old construction areas, blocking some of the old passageways and whatnot.
Arslan, you were going.
Back to the soul.
She says, write down what the sigil looked like. She says, write down what the sigil looks like, dear heart, and I'll ask around.
Okay, and I do so and go back to it.
And she hands it to Habib, and he looks at it, he shrugs, and then he starts walking around the tavern.
And you
And
go to the bathhouse after the sewers. I mean, I'll go as long as I can get a change and stuff.
Master Arslan, says
Oh.
Tarantinos.
Yes.
That woman is moving all of your things around.
What do you mean?
Is this going to
Did I go walk in?
Will this no longer be your emporium?
It will be my emporium.
Not according to what I overheard per se.
Things are starting to look different. I mean, she hasn't encroached into the commercial area, which is nice, but your personal area looks very different.
Well, we'll be doing something, we'll be expanding where this will be one stall, and we will also have a place in the city proper.
Which reminded me, one of the yeoman chamberlain came for you. You have been summoned to the Great Casbah.
Oh shit.
And we cut over to the meeting of Kepri, who is make a
We're not ready for that.
make a survival roll at a -5.
Oh my god.
Wow. What?
It's a city survival roll.
He's so not used to being in the city now.
And particularly in this environment.
With the poisonous air.
Come on. Yeah, no. Let's see. 16. So 11 was my spell. 12, 13, 14, 15.
Okay, with a -5?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So you maintain grace under boredom. And then under the horrible.
You forget one thing. He was trained as a scribe. He knows how to deal with boredom.
That's right.
Drawing little
Doodling.
Right. You were trained as a scribe, and so it does kick back to your earlier training, and you see that a lot of these points, there's a tremendous number of people that are involved in making these decisions, and they haven't discussed anything of the silk. But at a certain point, Asal Balmer, the great chamberlain, says, "Please pardon me," and he scrawls something, folds it over, and gives it to one of his yeoman chamberlain, and he disappears. And what were you doing? Where were you heading, Sabine?
I was heading back to my new home.
Okay. Right, there's a lot of stuff to do. She's got plans.
This is some.
She's
This is some.
nesting.
I will probably stop and get my things from the, I had my things stored at the ziggurat, and I don't want to impose too much on the archpriest.
Right.
So when you show up at the stall, there's a cart out front with an ox,
Right.
and it's
Oh,
loaded.
no, I've got my things are very minimal, I can carry them all.
Right.
And just start moving myself in.
Right, the moving
my
cart's
new,
out front.
My new home.
Two of the cannons, Aub and Castorno, volunteer to assist you moving your things. By the way,
I thank you.
they have
but-
to go into the city anyway, so they. You know.
I thank you, but I can actually carry them all myself. It's a pleasure as always, though, Castono.
Let us know if you need help, says Baub,
Also,
in a far less intrusive and assertive way.
do you know if Anupam is in his room?
He was here. He received a note. What did you do with the note?
I think I would have left it actually.
He received a letter was delivered here for him. He was very upset. In fact, we were going to go in the city earlier, but we thought it would be best to give him wine birth, says Baub, the librarian.
Do you know where he went?
No, but the note might be in his chamber.
Oh yes, I was completely planning on rifling through his things. Yes.
And
I'm going there now.
do you have the note?
Oh yeah, I have
You
it.
see it's kind of discarded. It looks in much less nice,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
in less pristine condition.
Oh no, it's probably like crumpled, like I squeezed it at one point out of anger.
Yes, yeah. The wax seal is crumbled.
Oh, wonderful.
Make an insight and an investigation roll.
18 for insight.
Okay.
11 for investigation.
So you do know that. Well, you've been an easy. Did you go with him to the Blood and Bone? Were you there? When
I
he
was
fought
there
that?
when he fought the.
You
yeah.
were there, right?
Yeah.
So, you would know that he would like to that he's either, depending on his mood, he's either likely to go meditating or hit something, and you haven't been there to that place with him before, so it wouldn't be
Yeah.
unheard of for you to
I
make that call.
I go drop my stuff off at my new house and go to Glenroads.
And were you there? Oh, so did you make any? Did you head to the Great Casbah?
Well, I was summoned, right?
Yes.
I mean, a summon is usually, it's a requirement.
Yes.
PDQ.
I'll change. I don't have time to bathe, but I'll change into some. I'll rifle through my pile of stuff in the
My box.
room or something nicer. And if there's no one else here, I'll head out on my own.
Okay. And you arrive at the Great Casbah, and it's you actually were left a pass
Oh,
with
okay.
right that was
To allow entrance.
to permit you entrance to see the Great Chamberlain, and at a certain point during the negotiation, where, like I said, there are many people with a lot of people who you don't recognize, who are not necessarily introduced. The patrician is there for part of it, and he recognizes you had met the patrician, and he's very cordial to your sister. I'm gonna encapsulate a little bit, but it's most of it is things that you don't participate in, you don't, and they just pour over things. There's a lot of sampling of the wares that that have been brought with you.
Yeah, I ran away from this kind of life.
You do know that the silk, by the way, is removed and taken away, with the intent of being looked at. The samples of silk.
Gotta be looked at. Gotta check the merchandise.
Yeah, we wanted him to check in with us.
You can say what you want there. I mean,
I'm not there.
Well, he is with the merchandise. I mean, they're going to look over the stuff and probably place orders. By the way, DM, I'm going to memorize my letter from Dance Master and burn it.
Oh.
Okay.
I say to my, is my sister engaged in the negotiations, or is there an intermediary?
Never into you can always interact with her.
Okay, I just finished doodling hawk, bird, man thing, and
In hieroglyphics, he declares war on Quran and
yeah, it's literally just graffiti.
bird, snake, river,
Hieroglyphics is graffiti.
Yeah,
spear.
Drawing snakes
inventing
onto
new words.
Quranians.
lean to my sister and say quietly in Keemish as someone else is obviously discussing thing. I say to her, I had forgotten how tedious this could be.
Nevertheless, she says, it will be to the greater glory of our house.
Indeed. That is why I am here. Glory be to our house.
And you make an insight roll.
Yeah, I'll reroll that. Yeah, that's better.
Okay, make another insight roll.
All right. That's less better.
Tell me what you roll, by the way.
First time it was an 18.
Okay.
Second time it was a 12.
Okay. What about
So that'd be a 19 and a 13. Like plus 4.
Okay, yeah, give me the total rolls. Okay,
Sorry,
what about
alright, my bad.
You're fine, but what about make another one for me?
All right, yes, sir. 15 on the third roll.
Okay. And now make me a fourth one.
He's shooting for that 5.
I'm sure he is. Give it enough time. I'll re-roll that. Nat 20.
Okay, so I'm going to give you insight checks. I'll give you a little bit of information between this week and next, which you can share when I give it to you. on the various members of the legation. And again, you've got Lady Ozira, who is the legate of King Neferhotep. Why don't you give me another perception roll to,
I think I will.
just to see if you want to,
That's an 8.
Okay, so I'm going to give you some who you have gotten. Lady Ozira is your sister. She's the legate of King Neferhotep. Manetho is the captain of the Legatine Guard of Honor. Jediftah is the first secretary. Ubosir is the fourth secretary. I guess they didn't have a second or third secretary.
I think we did lose.
They
a few.
were they were lost. They were killed in the desert. Right?
We lost a
Lost
couple.
the secretary.
Right, it's sad too because you really would have liked the third secretary.
Oh.
He was cool. Yeah. Everybody thought he was cool. He had this little thing he did with a dog too. But you have a little bit of.
Everybody moved up.
Yeah.
Battlefield promotion.
So I'll give you a little bit of information next week that you can share on the embassy and Arslan. And make a perception roll.
All right. 10.
You notice that the Great Chamberlain says, "I will return." He's the Great Chamberlain, who's about 60 years old. He has silver hair shot through with a little bit of dark and beard. He says, "I will return presently. I have a short meeting that I must attend to. I will leave you in the presence of my yeoman." And he gets up, and you are brought into a very small office, a chamber that has a lot of.
Oh, it's not the market area.
No, you're
Or
in.
that guy before.
You're
The Dyer's
You're at the
guy.
You're at the Great
Casbah.
You're
The
in.
political
okay.
center,
You're not in the
stock market.
caravanserai.
Oh.
You're in the
I got two
castle
mixed up.
of the.
Oh, that's better.
You're within the.
That's better.
Right.
That is better.
And then there's the Black Casbah, which is the prison.
I've been there, I don't like that either.
my second home. Yeah.
Right, but the Great Casbah is the castle of the former king and is the patrician's castle. It's also like the center of administration for the city-state. And you were there. You met the Great Chamberlain previously, right?
Patricia.
At least once.
I
When you were
believe
getting out
I
of the
don't
Black Casbah.
Oh, when we're getting out of the Black Casbah, right?
You were getting a
You're right.
pardon.
No.
So that might have been the prefect of police.
Oh,
Wasn't everyone there? Because the patrician was there as well.
The patrician, but I don't think his Great Chamberlain was
Okay.
there.
no, because the only
Great
other
Chamberlain.
interaction we've had was I interacted with the Great Chamberlain when Alexides showed me up the first time. So I don't think he's ever interacted with the Great Chamberlain.
Understand. So he's older, he's pushing 70. He has silver hair with streaks of dark in his beard, and he's dressed in good clothing, but not very rich. And you can see in his surroundings as he enters the office, he's got mostly scrolls, and he's basically the head of the patrician's government. You know, with the patrician being the head of state, he runs everything. And he comes in. "Thank you for coming at short notice, Master Arslan. Do you know that I have tasted your cobalt mussels of Andos? They are quite good.
I did not know that. I'm very pleased that they had reached you.
I've dined on them through the auspices of the Archpriest. I am well disposed to certain delicacies that I developed a taste for in my youth. I am curious. I have never met a person who's in the process that wanted to be assassinated. And I have.
What?
Rewind.
I have it on excellent authority that you are the subject of an assassination. I only know this because it has been informed to me that. And I thought perhaps
Oh shit.
I would meet with you in advance to see what your motivations were. I feel willing to share them.
I can definitely
Come as a
share with you
friend.
that I have no motivations towards being assassinated.
Because my understanding is that the Dyer's Guild is somewhat upset by the possibility of their monopoly being infringed upon, even inadvertently. I was hoping that perhaps at a time when the violence in the city has been brought down, we would like to continue that. Perhaps some arrangement can be worked out between you and Potterfan of the Dyer's Guild.
I thought you worked this out.
I see that the Kiemish Embassy has many things that they seem to be interested in bringing in, importing, and I believe that the patrician is very well disposed to allowing certain things that do not upset the traditional monopolies, structures of power.
Is there anything that isn't monopolized?
Well,
I mean,
now you
I am a merchant.
You do know that just as a sidebar, I just want to
The
remind
Cobalt
you,
Clams.
you're being given he's given
Right.
your friend is giving you the yeah, exactly.
But that's not
Khalil Osman.
known yet.
Correct, that's not known, correct.
I don't want to say that that's.
He says, it is an interesting question, isn't it? We have not met. By the way, since time immemorial, I have liked to, in my own mind, assign certain well-known actors to certain roles, casting roles. So, for those of you that are familiar with Deadwood and or more recently,
John Wick. I
no,
think I know
what's
who
the
you- okay.
no, what's
No.
the not Good Omens?
American
What's
Gods.
the one? American
In the
Gods.
chain.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
And-
Mr. Wednesday.
Yeah, and
she-
awesome.
yeah, and John Wick.
Right.
Was he in John
He
Wick?
was in John
Oh,
Wick
look
as
at that!
well.
I haven't seen
Yeah.
it. Well played, young
Oh,
sir.
there you go. I knew who you were talking about too.
I believe that perhaps some sort of arrangement can be made. Are you familiar with the College of Custodians?
Am I familiar with the College of Custodians?
You are familiar with the College of Custodians. Oh. Let's see how familiar you are with it. Roll a history roll. That's good. That's good. That's it. You made an easy roll. Moderate is 15. So, do you have wit? That included your.
It's including my bonus.
So
It's a
basically,
dirt.
so the custodians are like sort of a. It's like Vadashar has these ancient precincts. The custodians are sort of like aldermen. They're assigned certain responsibilities in the city, including public works. It's oftentimes a way of accruing political influence and power. You know.
I do, because you had mentioned before that there was a custodian in the area
Right.
that
He's in his
we pay
80s.
tribute to.
Right, you make right. He sort of he
Yes.
takes care of everything.
Yeah.
He takes care of
Right.
everything in the
He's
neighborhood.
like the neighborhood.
Right, and if there's something that needs to
Right.
be, if there's a hole that needs to be fixed, he usually sees it. He'll see if the city can do it first, but otherwise he sees to it. He's almost like
So he gets things
he
done.
gets things done.
I am familiar. Who's the custodian of my territory, the area I'm in?
And he tells you that guy's name.
Smalls.
I forget. I lost. Actually, I have
Actually,
it.
there's two of them that I would like to know. That one and the one where the small tower is.
I believe that you have recently taken possession of the former small tower of
Yes.
the so-called Red Wizard of Vadashar, the
Yes.
Red Mage of Vadashar.
And I am familiar with the custodians. My own custodian has been an amazing.
He's going to tell you your own custodian's name is. Maybe I don't have it.
John Smith. It's a really exotic name. No one knows where he's from.
Alamdar.
Jane Doe.
Alamdar is your custodian.
Alamdar.
Yeah, he's the boss of the Medina. He's the most politically powerful individual in Old Town. He's got an elaborate network of patronage and favors. He's woven a web of influence stretching across the city. His birthday is remembered by Potiphan and by the Great Chamberlain. He's got a big voting block in the city's College of Custodians. He's over 80 years old. And the area where
Old Town.
Old Town is the neighborhood, but it's broken up into little precincts. Well, the whole city is broken up into 173 precincts, which make no sense. So you have districts. Old Town is a district. The Rabbit's Run is one, but each one. Then you have these little. So the Medina, which is sort of the old district, the place where all the stalls are in Old Town. That's where Alamdar is, right? And the anvil is where the small tower is. It's called the anvil. It's a very small area.
I like how you took into account for gerrymandering in your world.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Everything is appropriate levels of corruption.
Oh, absolutely, yeah,
Of
of course.
The caravans still run mostly on time.
If you would be willing to work out whatever issue you have with the Dyers Guild and accept elevation to the College of Custodians, I'm sure that all of these whatever issues are pertaining to you and your friend from Kemet will be worked out.
So going from a stall to a custodian is a big jump.
Well, it's sort of like if you're elected to city commission, you still have your insurance agency or your plumbing business.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? But now you've got responsibility. Right. You're a mocker in the city, and you have some responsibility. In ancient Rome, for those of us that, the Edels were an early string on the cursus honorum. They were responsible for keeping up the public buildings, the temples, also the libraries. And they often did it out of their own pocket as a way of, because everybody knew, hey, this guy, or maybe not their own pocket, maybe other people were giving them money, but they got to take care of, and then everybody knew that, Marcus Phalanx was the dude, and he, or his family, and, women were also very involved in it politically because they brought, a woman from a patrician family might marry a plebeian noble on the rise, or whatever. So there was a lot of that going on too. So it's a good place for somebody on the come, wanting to be legitimate within the city thing, And I'm sure everybody gets along. There's 173 people. They all probably are on the same page with each other, right?
I'm sure.
Right?
Definitely
Sure,
no
it's like
infighting at all.
You know what you're gonna need? Somebody to watch over your stall when you're gone.
Oh, totally. The deal isn't so bad at this moment. It was just an uncomfortable way it was happening.
Well, nobody likes choice to be taken away from them, let's face it.
This is what it feels like. It doesn't feel good.
That's what I've been doing to people.
I want it.
And you go and you find a place to drink with Abik.
Right.
My real name, my friend, is Abindaka Satyavati Rishyashringa.
Good luck.
Abin. But you may call me Abik. I am a priest of, I believe I have told you, I lived and worked in the most beauteous place in the world, the Temple of Kanandi in Harappa, Gandhara's oldest city. 13 years ago, one of our priests, Sahul, fled from Harappa after after it was discovered that he had betrayed his position as bursar and stolen the offerings to Kanandi. One night, Sahul fled, but not before he murdered the high priest and took with him much of the wealth of the temple. He left for parts unknown. This was 13 long years ago. Yes, more to drink, please. My friend?
Yes, I guess a light ale.
I will have something stronger. And by the way, he has a strong smell of
Right, the ghee.
ghee,
I remember that.
rancid butter.
I remember that.
I was charged with returning Sahul to face justice. Although my oath requires me to bring him back with little harm. He has eluded capture and in the process committed many, many atrocities, including against children. Only his death will end his depravities. I tracked him here to the valley of Caliph, where he dwells in a secret haven somewhere in the hills. I tracked him there. I know where he is. While I was there, I became injured. This is why I returned to the city to recoup and to meditate. For I believe that my doom awaits me when I go for the final destruction of the apostate priest. I've been looking for Sahul for 13 years. During that time, I've had to break my vows and commit crimes which I must pay for.
You said that he's atrocities against children.
He is an evil man, a vile man.
Can I make an insight check? 21.
He hates this Sahul with a righteous passion. Perhaps if I go with humility to the sacred fane of Kanandi and Harappa, sacrifice, beg for forgiveness, my soul will be exiled to Pandemonium where it can atone for my sins. Perhaps one day dwell with the supreme love of Kanandi in paradise. But I cannot do it alone, my friend. I need help. He is not alone. He has enlisted evil men.
Do you know how many?
No, there is a group of bandits that I believe he pays to secure his position, and he encourages their depravities so that they will leave him alone to his. This is not an easy task.
Alright, I gathered that. Do you know the name of the group? Do they have a moniker or a name that they go by?
I can find this out, I suppose.
Yeah, I can. Well, what you're proposing, if this person is as bad as you say he is, I feel almost honor bound to help you. I would like to know a little bit more before going in. Perhaps I can enlist some help with this, but I can't make any promises.
I trust you with this information, my friend. I believe you are worthy of it. And I thank you for your aid.
Thank you.
That's where we're going to stop for the night, folks. Thanks very much for joining us. Episode 21 in the bag. We pick up next week. And as we continue with the arc of Arslan's 11. Stay with us. Have a great Sunday night.
Bye, guys.
Good night.